In 58 BCE, Julius Caesar, a brilliant but controversial statesman, embarked on a quest to conquer Gaul, a sprawling region of fierce Celtic tribes. His motives were twofold: to secure wealth and glory for Rome and to elevate his own political standing. Over the next decade, Caesar's legions would fight in some of history's most audacious battles, cementing his reputation as a military genius and setting the stage for Rome's transformation from republic to empire. By 52 BCE, Gaul was in open revolt. Vercingetorix, a charismatic Arverni chieftain, united the tribes and adopted a scorched earth strategy to starve Caesar's legions. After a series of skirmishes, Vercingetorix retreated to Alesia, a hilltop fortress surrounded by steep cliffs and rivers. Caesar, with roughly 60,000 men, faced a dual threat: 80,000 Gallic warriors inside Alesia and a relief army of 250,000 approaching from the hinterlands. Caesar's response was engineering brilliance. He ordered his legions to construct two massive fortifications: circumvallation, a 10-mile wall encircling Alesia studded with towers, trenches, and booby traps; contravallation, a 14-mile outer wall facing the incoming Gallic relief force. The Gauls launched coordinated attacks from both sides. Vercingetorix's cavalry attempted to break the inner wall, while the relief force assaulted the outer defenses. Caesar, directing troops from horseback, exploited weaknesses in the Gallic lines. His Germanic auxiliaries decimated Vercingetorix's cavalry, and Roman discipline held against waves of attackers. During a desperate night assault, the Gauls breached a weak point in the outer wall. Caesar personally led a countercharge, clad in his iconic red cloak, rallying his men to repel the invaders. The Gauls, demoralized by their failure, retreated. Starving and surrounded, Vercingetorix surrendered, riding out in full armor to lay his weapons at Caesar's feet. The Gallic Wars ended, and Caesar claimed 800 conquered cities, 300 subdued tribes, and 1 million enslaved Gauls. The victory made Caesar a legend in Rome, but the Senate feared his growing power. In 49 BCE, the Senate, dominated by Caesar's rival Pompey, ordered him to disband his army and return to Rome as a private citizen. Caesar faced a choice: obey and risk prosecution, or defy the Senate and ignite civil war. On January 10, 49 BCE, Caesar halted at the Rubicon, the boundary between his province Cisalpine Gaul and Italy. Crossing it with his 13th legion was treason. According to historian Suetonius, he declared, "Alea iacta est," the die is cast, and marched south. Pompey and the Senate fled to Greece, abandoning Rome. Caesar's lightning advance stunned Italy. Towns surrendered without resistance, and Pompey's legions defected. Caesar seized the treasury, declaring, "Money and soldiers are the sinews of war." The Republic was fractured. Caesar, now Rome's de facto ruler, pursued Pompey to Greece, setting the stage for their climactic showdown at Pharsalus. Chapter 3: The Battle of Pharsalus, 48 BCE. Location: Plains of Pharsalus, Greece. Opponents: Caesar, 22,000 men, versus Pompey, 45,000 men. The prelude. Pompey, backed by the Senate's wealth and superior numbers, adopted a defensive strategy. His cavalry, led by Labienus, Caesar's former lieutenant, outnumbered Caesar's 7-1. Caesar's ingenious trap. Anticipating Pompey's reliance on cavalry, Caesar hid 2,000 elite legionaries, the 4th Legion, behind his main lines. He ordered them to thrust their pila, javelins, upward at charging horsemen, a tactic never before seen. The battle unfolds. Pompey's cavalry charge. Labienus's 7,000 horsemen smashed into Caesar's right flank. The 4th Legion's surprise. Caesar's hidden troops sprang forward, stabbing at horses and riders. The panicked cavalry fled, trampling Pompey's archers. Encirclement. Caesar's infantry pivoted, surrounding Pompey's legions. Climax. Pompey, witnessing his army's collapse, reportedly muttered, "What have I done to deserve such men?" He fled to Egypt, where he was assassinated by Ptolemy XIII's courtiers. Aftermath. Pharsalus shattered the Senate's resistance. Caesar, now Rome's undisputed leader, pursued Pompey to Egypt, where he allied with Cleopatra and crushed Ptolemaic forces at the Battle of the Nile. Chapter 4: Thapsus and the African Campaign, 46 BCE. The Optimates regrouped in North Africa, allied with Numidian King Juba I. Caesar, despite logistical nightmares, rallied his veterans with the cry, "We sail in the very jaws of death." Caesar's legions, exhausted from marching through deserts, faced Scipio's war elephants. In a bold move, Caesar stationed archers and slingers between his cohorts. Their volleys of fire, arrows, and stones panicked the elephants, which trampled Scipio's own lines. Mid-battle, Caesar allegedly suffered an epileptic seizure. Without his command, his veterans ignored orders to spare surrendering foes and massacred 10,000 optimates. Scipio in Juba committed suicide. Cato the Younger, the Republic's last symbol, stabbed himself in Utica rather than accept Caesar's mercy. Caesar returned to Rome, celebrating 4 triumphs: Gaul, Egypt, Pontus, Africa. The Senate declared him dictator for 10 years, a title that stoked fears of tyranny. Pompey's sons, Gnaeus and Sextus, rallied Iberian tribes and veteran legions in Spain. Caesar, aging and weary, faced his toughest fight. At Munda, I fought not for victory, but for life. The armies clashed on open ground. Caesar's legions, struggling uphill, were repelled repeatedly. At a critical moment, Caesar seized a shield, charged into the front lines, and roared, "Will you give your general to the enemy?" Shamed, his men rallied. Caesar's cavalry outflanked the Pompeians, forcing them into a disordered retreat. Gnaeus Pompey was captured and executed. Sextus fled, later becoming a pirate king. Munda ended the civil wars. Caesar returned to Rome as dictator for life, instituting reforms, e.g., the Julian calendar. Yet his ambition alienated the Senate. On March 15, 44 BCE, Caesar entered the Senate House. Ignoring warnings of conspiracy, he was stabbed 23 times by senators led by Brutus and Cassius. His last words, "Et tu, Brute?" "You too, Brutus," echoed through history. Caesar's battles expanded Rome's borders to the Rhine and Atlantic, but his death plunged Rome into renewed civil war. His heir, Octavian, Augustus, avenged him, transforming the Republic into an empire. Ambition versus Republic, Caesar's genius destabilized Rome's democracy. Military innovation, circumvallation at Alesia, hidden cohorts at Pharsalus. Power's paradox, victory bred fear, fear bred assassination. This expanded account weaves tactical detail, primary sources, and dramatic narrative to illuminate Caesar's world, a realm of genius, betrayal, and the birth of an empire.